Have you ever noticed how he only starts to feel something real when you finally pull away? Not when you beg, not when you give more, but when you shift, quietly, strongly, without warning. That moment you stop proving your worth, stop explaining your love, and simply turn inward. That's when something inside him stirs. It's confusing to him. He doesn't know why he suddenly misses you, why your silence feels louder than your presence ever did. But you know, deep down, you always had the power. You just forgot for a moment. The heart doesn't get attached by what's said. It clings to what's felt in silence. And queens, this is what many never understand. Emotional attachment in a man doesn't come from the loud moments. It comes from the subtle, powerful shifts, from the energy you pull back, from the way you carry yourself when he thought you'd fall apart. A man doesn't fall in love with what's easy. He gets emotionally attached to what he can't quite control, what he can't fully grasp, what doesn't chase. Think of a flame. A man is drawn to the light, but not the kind that flickers wildly trying to stay lit. He's drawn to the fire that burns steady, quiet, powerful, the fire that doesn't move when he walks in the room but stays rooted in its strength. That kind of energy, that's what lingers in his mind when he lays next to someone else and still thinks of you. That's what he can't forget. It's not what you said or what you did. It's how you made him feel when you stopped trying. At first, this might feel unfair. You gave your heart. You showed up. You loved him with everything you had. And yet it seemed like he only felt your value when you pulled back. But don't let that break you. Let it teach you. Because the truth is, emotional attachment in a man doesn't start with how much you give. It starts with how much of yourself you choose to hold. When you stop pouring and start becoming, he feels it. He can't name it. He can't explain it, but he feels it. This is not the time to break. This is the time to rebuild, slowly, quietly, in your power. You may have felt like the one chasing before, but that version of you is gone now. That version who waited for him to see your worth, who tried to hold everything together, that woman is evolving. And now, beautiful woman, let's say it clearly. You are not desperate. You are not lacking. You are stepping into your place, not as an option, but as the presence he can never replace. You are no longer just the one who cared. You are becoming the one he will never forget, the one he didn't know how to keep. This is the beginning of something greater. This is where we start to live like queens. Let him feel the shift. Let him wonder. Because the real power is not in what you say. It's in how you carry yourself when you say nothing at all. Let's move forward. If this message touched something deep in you, if it reminded you of the quiet strength you forgot you had, then show some love. Like this video and subscribe to the channel, because we are working hard every single day to bring you content that heals, empowers, and reminds you of who you truly are. You deserve truth, you deserve clarity, and you deserve to rise. Number 1. He falls hard for the one who doesn't flinch when he pulls away. Have you ever noticed how he pulls back, expecting you to chase him? He stops texting. He becomes cold, he gives less, and deep down he's waiting for your reaction. He wants to see if you'll panic, beg, or try harder to hold on to him. But the moment you don't flinch, the moment you stay calm and steady, something starts to change in him. What he thought would give him power ends up shaking him instead. Because now, he's the one wondering. He's the one feeling. A calm heart shakes the ones who hoped you'd lose yourself. When you stop reacting, when you stop feeding his ego with your confusion and your fear of losing him, it triggers something deeper in him. He thought your world revolved around him. He believed that if he pulled away, you'd crumble. But you didn't. You stayed soft but strong, loving but distant, present but not desperate. And that quiet strength, that's the seed of emotional attachment. Think of a candle burning in a room. It doesn't chase the breeze. It doesn't beg to stay lit. It simply stands tall and glows. And when the room gets cold, it's the only thing that brings warmth. That's you. The steady light he thought would always burn for him, until one day he sees it flicker for the last time, and suddenly he's the one reaching for it. This is how a man falls hard. Not for the woman who clings when he pulls back, but for the woman who lets him go without losing herself. He doesn't get attached to chaos. He gets attached to peace he can't understand. Your silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. And when he realizes that you didn't flinch, didn't break, didn't chase, that's when he starts to feel. That's when he starts to compare. That's when he starts to miss what he thought would never leave. And now, lovely woman, this is where everything changes. You are not the woman who waits to be picked. You are not the woman who questions her worth every time he pulls away. You are the woman who sees the distance and still chooses herself. Slowly, quietly, powerfully, you are becoming the one he can't forget, the one who didn't flinch, the one who walked through the fire without burning. Write this in the comments and claim it. My calm is what he'll never forget. Queens, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you these life-changing lessons, and you deserve every word of them. Let's move forward. Number 2. He becomes attached to the one who doesn't need to be chosen. Have you ever seen a man's face the moment he realizes she isn't waiting for him to decide? Not angry, not bitter, just calm, detached, focused on herself. That moment hits him harder than any goodbye ever could. Because deep down, he thought he had time. He thought he was the one in control. He believed she'd always be there, hoping, reaching, proving. But the moment she stopped needing to be chosen, everything changed. A man doesn't form deep emotional attachment to the one who waits with hands open. He connects to the one who walks with her hands full, her own joy, her peace, her power. She doesn't beg. She doesn't rush. She lives. And that shakes him to the core. Because she's not in his orbit, he's now spinning in hers. There's something unforgettable about the woman who chooses herself before anyone else gets the chance. He doesn't know how to respond to that kind of confidence. He's used to being needed. He's not used to being the one wondering. And now it's his mind that stays busy at night, not yours. Imagine a garden, a beautiful one, blooming with grace and care. But instead of waiting at the gate for a visitor to admire it, the garden keeps growing, with or without attention. That's you, the one who didn't need validation to flourish, the one who didn't shrink to fit his comfort, the one who kept blooming even when he left. At first it may hurt. You loved him. You gave what was real. But when he chose confusion over clarity and distance over effort, you stopped offering front row seats to your growth. That's when his emotional shift began. Not when you cried, not when you tried, but when you smiled, stayed silent, and focused on building a life where he was no longer the center. This isn't about pretending. This is about understanding your worth. You are not the woman who waits for permission to be loved. You are the woman who knows love isn't something to earn. It's something to receive when it's right, when it's whole, when it's safe, and when he feels that energy, the energy of a woman who doesn't need to be chosen, his soul remembers her, craves her, misses her. Now, beautiful woman, step forward. This is the shift. This is where your story changes. You are no longer waiting, you are walking. And that walk, that's what he'll never forget. Write this in the comments and claim it. I choose myself before he ever can. Queens, write it proudly. Let this world know your crown doesn't come from being chosen. It comes from choosing yourself first. We're here, working hard to bring you these life-changing lessons because you were never meant to beg. You were meant to reign. Number 3. Your absence becomes his loudest reminder. Have you ever realized how quiet can hurt louder than words? When the calls stop, when the messages never come, when he walks away, thinking you'll wait in silence, thinking you'll keep checking your phone, hoping, hurting, needing. That's what he expects. But what he never prepares for is this: your absence. Not just your body being gone, but your energy, your warmth, your voice, your care. When that disappears, something strange begins to happen inside him. He starts feeling things he didn't expect: confusion, emptiness, a pull he can't explain. That's when he starts to realize what he let go is not coming back. A woman's absence doesn't scream, it echoes. And Queens, that echo. It haunts, not right away. At first, he feels free. He thinks he made the right choice. Maybe he walks into someone else's arms thinking it's better. But time reveals all. And slowly, he begins to notice the quiet. Your voice is missing. Your support is missing. Your love, the kind that made him feel alive, it's nowhere to be found. And that silence, that becomes the loudest reminder of what he lost. Think of it like this: you were the song playing in the background of his life. He got used to the rhythm, took it for granted, until one day the music stopped, and suddenly the silence is deafening. That's your absence. Not loud, but unforgettable. And while he's smiling for the world, laughing with someone else, something inside him starts to ache. He'll look at her and feel nothing. He'll hear your name and feel everything. Because now, you're no longer reachable. You're no longer chasing. You've stepped into something deeper, your power. This is when we speak truth. Beautiful woman, the version of you who waited for his attention is no longer here. The version who begged for love, who kept holding space for someone who didn't show up. She's gone. And in her place stands you, wiser, calmer, stronger. You don't have to make noise to be remembered. You just have to leave. Leave with peace. Leave with dignity. Let your absence become the mirror he never wanted to face. Now, dear lady, hear this and let it root into your soul. You are not broken. You are the lesson he will never stop remembering. This is not about revenge. This is about rising, softly, fiercely, quietly becoming the woman he thought you'd never become without him. Write this in the comments and claim it. My absence will be unforgettable. Say it loud, Queens. Say it with your whole heart. We are working hard every day to bring you these powerful and life-changing truths because you were never meant to be forgotten. You were meant to reign. Number 4. He gets hooked. When you set the standard, then walk away from anything less. Have you ever wondered why he only starts to feel something real the moment you stop bending, stop begging, and start walking? Why does he suddenly remember your worth when you finally stop explaining yourself? It's not by accident. That shift in you, it hits him deeper than any words ever could. He was comfortable when you made excuses for his behavior. He felt secure when you lowered your standards just to keep the connection alive. But the moment you said, enough, everything changed. That's when the emotional attachment begins. Not when you chase, but when you choose to walk away from what no longer matches your worth. A man does not respect what he doesn't have to rise for. And when you set the standard, firm, clear, and full of self-respect, then leave the second he offers less, that's when something inside him shakes. He realizes you are not like anyone else. You don't negotiate your value. You don't stay where you're not met fully. And that creates a scar in his memory that no one else can cover. He starts comparing. He starts wondering, he starts feeling. Think of it like a locked vault. At first he thinks he can open it any time. He believes he can wander in and out of your life. But when he finally returns and finds the door closed, and not just closed, but sealed with dignity and distance, he starts to panic. That door wasn't closed out of spite. It was closed because you realized your peace is worth more than proving your love. It's painful to walk away from someone you once imagined forever with. You didn't leave because you stopped caring. You left because he stopped showing up. And the moment he realizes that your love had standards, that it wasn't for sale and it wasn't for settling, that's when the weight hits. And the harder you rise, the harder it hits him. Now let me tell you something you might have forgotten. You are not the woman who chases breadcrumbs. You are the woman who sets the table. You are not desperate for a seat in his life. You are the one he will wish he never let go. And that, dear lady, is your true power. So stand tall, reclaim your light. This is where you stop accepting almost and start demanding absolutely. The moment you stopped settling became the moment he started remembering. And that standard you set, that's the one no other woman will match in his eyes. Write this in the comments, beautiful queens, and claim it. I walked away from less, and that's when he felt it. And if this message stirred your heart, if it reminded you of your power, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to create life-changing lessons for women like you. And this is only the beginning. Let's rise together. Number 5. The one who didn't compete becomes the one he can't replace. Have you ever noticed how the one who stays silent in the noise becomes the one who haunts his thoughts the loudest? Not the loudest voice, not the one who tried the hardest, but the one who stood tall, without chasing, without competing, without lowering herself to win him over. That's the woman he can't forget. That's the woman he can't replace. He thought she'd fight for him. He thought she'd argue for a place in his world. But instead, she stepped back with grace. And now he can't stop thinking about her. A man's emotional attachment doesn't form when she pleads or proves. It forms when she doesn't. When she doesn't fight for space beside him. When she doesn't try to win against another woman. When she walks away from any situation where she is treated like an option. That moment when she stays calm while he expects chaos, that's the moment she becomes unforgettable. True strength whispers when the world expects a scream. That's what he remembers when she's gone. That's what makes her irreplaceable. Picture a room full of noise, everyone shouting to be heard, to be seen. But then there's one person standing quietly in the corner, glowing without trying. That's who he keeps looking at. That's the energy he keeps coming back to. Because nothing pulls a man in like mystery. Nothing grabs his emotions like the woman who doesn't need to compete. She already knows her value. She already understands that anyone who makes her fight for love has already lost her. At first he believed he had options. He thought attention was power. But now he's realizing affection is not the same as connection, and she was the only one who gave him something real. She saw him. She gave him peace, not pressure. And when she didn't chase, that's when the regret began. That's when the emotional hooks started sinking in. Not because she begged, but because she didn't. And now, beautiful lady, hear this truth. You are not the backup plan. You are not the extra piece in someone else's puzzle. You are the whole picture. You are not just the woman who walked away. You are the woman who refused to play a game just to be loved. And that refusal, that is what he will never stop replaying. So rise now, gracious woman. No more waiting, no more wondering, no more shrinking. You are stepping into your power, not just as the one he lost, but as the one he could never deserve. You don't need to fight for space in a man's life when you were born to rule your own. The one who didn't compete becomes the one who leaves a mark on his soul. Write this in the comments and claim it. I don't compete. I reign. Let this be the moment you take your power back, not by proving anything to him, but by proving everything to yourself. We are working hard to create these life-changing lessons just for you, because you were never meant to be picked. You were meant to be respected. Number 6. He gets emotionally hooked on the one who mirrors his inconsistency with graceful distance. Have you ever noticed how he becomes distant and suddenly expects you to keep showing up, as if your love should carry the weight of both hearts? He disappears for a while, sends cold texts, forgets the little things, and waits to see if you'll still be there. He doesn't say it, but he's testing your boundaries. And when you finally start matching that inconsistency with your own silence, not out of anger but from peace, something shifts in him. That's when he starts to feel it. The loss, the fear, the pull. He doesn't expect you to mirror his distance. He expects you to hold it all together. A woman becomes unforgettable the moment she stops over-explaining and starts observing. This is the hidden switch. The moment you stop chasing, stop explaining, and start responding with calm distance, you trigger something deeper in him. Not his ego, not his pride, but his emotions. He starts to wonder, starts to feel confused, starts to miss what he never thought he could lose. Not because you begged, but because you didn't. Think of it like a reflection. When he shows up half present, and you mirror that with grace, not with drama, not with noise, but with quiet energy, he starts to see himself. And most men can't handle what they see, because the mirror you hold is clean, sharp, and honest. That reflection cuts deeper than any words you could ever say, and that's where the emotional hook begins. He begins to feel unsafe in his own detachment, not because you threatened him, but because you finally stopped giving him something he didn't earn. That energy shift, it shakes him. He starts to crave your softness, your warmth, the steadiness he used to ignore. And when it's no longer freely available, he begins to chase, because you gave him space to feel his own inconsistency, and now he misses what once felt unconditional. This is how emotional attachment forms, not through pleading or proving, but through alignment. And beautiful woman, the moment you stop betraying yourself to keep him comfortable, you become the one his heart can't forget. You are not lost, you are awakening. You are not cold, you are calm. And this calm, it's your crown. This graceful distance is not silence. It's your power returning to you. So now, dear Queen, write this in the comments and claim it. I match energy, not desperation. Let this be your reminder. No more chasing, no more fixing, no more proving. Let him feel the space. Let him miss what he once took for granted. We are working hard to bring you lessons that aren't just spoken, but felt. This is how healing begins. This is how a queen rises. Number 7. He can't let go of the one who loved him with depth, then disappeared without warning. Have you ever noticed how he only started feeling your absence when you stopped announcing your presence? When you stopped checking in, stopped explaining, stopped trying to fix what he kept breaking? That's when it hit him. Not when you cried, not when you stayed, but when you left without warning. Quiet, software final. That's the moment he began to remember everything you ever gave. That's when the memories became louder than your voice ever did. You didn't leave to hurt him. You disappeared to heal yourself. But he will never forget that kind of love, because that kind of love doesn't come twice. A man doesn't become emotionally attached to the loud moments. He gets attached to the woman who gave him depth, loyalty, and love, and then vanished with no explanation. Not out of anger, but out of strength, out of tiredness, out of dignity. He felt safe thinking you would always be there. But when you became quiet, when you stopped reaching out, when your presence became a memory, something inside him shifted. Hearts don't break from leaving. They break from being left by what they thought was permanent. That is what he's wrestling with now. That is the truth he never expected to face. Think of a deep river, quiet on the surface, powerful beneath. You were that river, flowing with feeling, depth, and care. But once you stopped flowing toward him, once you redirected your energy inward, he stood there with empty hands, wondering how he let something so rare slip away. That's the trigger. It's not the leaving, it's the way you left, without bitterness, without begging, without a single trace of the woman who once would have done anything to stay. And now, he's chasing shadows. And here you are now, no longer the woman he could reach. You are not broken. You are not less. You are becoming a woman who doesn't just give love. She becomes unforgettable. A woman who doesn't just walk away. She becomes a legend in his memory. That's how deep your love was. That's how powerful your exit was. So let it be known, the deepest emotional trigger in a man is not what he has, but what he can never get back. And that's you. Not because you disappeared, but because you gave everything and still walked away. Queens, write this in the comments and claim your power. He can't replace what he couldn't hold. Let the world know that your silence is not weakness. It's power wrapped in grace. And if this message touched something deep in you, if it reminded you that walking away with dignity is a woman's greatest weapon, like this video and subscribe to the channel. Because we are working hard every day to bring you life-changing truths, healing wisdom, and the kind of strength that builds empires.